Architectural Artcast.
Welcome to the Architectural Outcast. I'm Randy. What we're seeing over the last few days with Cracker Barrel is a classic example of destruction by design. Yes, I'm using a pun, and yes, I mean it both ways. A symbol can be anything, although it's usually visual, that has no meaning in of itself, but comes to be associated with complex ideas. The classic example is a stop sign. There doesn't even have to be the word stop printed on it. As soon as you see that red octagon, you know what's expected of you. Put your foot on the brake. A logo is a type of symbol, a highly crafted symbol that's meant to evoke very specific thoughts and emotions that a company wants to be associated with their brand. Most companies go out of their way to do everything in their power to protect that logo because they don't want any thought or emotion associated with that logo that goes against their brand. It's not unusual for a company to decide it needs to rebrand. That old logo's gotten stale. It's no longer evoking the desired thoughts and emotions like it used to. Time to come up with something new. Even when rebranding is called for, you tread lightly. You gotta know what you're doing because things can go sideways in a heartbeat. We've just seen Jaguar's rebranding cost the company over 90% of its value. And it looks like Cracker Barrel has just said, "Hold my biscuits and gravy. I can do better than that." Back when I was teaching design, now granted it was architectural design, but architects often design logos as well. So we often ask students to show us how they would redesign a famous logo. If a student had presented the new Cracker Barrel logo as their final design, I would have failed them. Not because it's a bad graphic design, which it is. It's because they failed to understand the very purpose of the project. They don't have a clue about symbolism.
All right, Mr. Smarty Pants. You think you could do better?
Yes, I do. With half my brain tied behind my back. Because unlike these yahoos, I actually know what I'm doing. Let me show you all how I would have started the design process, which will begin to explain why the public is having such a visceral reaction to this new logo. Let's begin with the basics. The name of the restaurant, the Cracker Barrel. What's a Cracker Barrel? Well, it's a barrel full of crackers. Yeah, but what's a Cracker Barrel? What does it mean? Back in the day, crackers were a little different than what we have today. They were more like a biscuit. The American biscuits, not the British cookies. And they were firm, much closer to hardtack. As long as you kept them in a dark, dry place, they could last for years. Handy things to have around before refrigeration. And they were shipped in bulk, barrels. Because again, the store didn't have to worry about selling them right away because they lasted for years. In a lot of the smaller towns, the stores would leave the Cracker Barrel out front, easy access to the customers, because crackers were a popular snack. They were hard, so you'd have to break off a little piece and chew on it a while. That little cracker could last you quite some time. These people would hang out and shoot the breeze while they finished their crackers. These stores would become an important part of the social fabric of small towns, all centered on the Cracker Barrel. Most store owners promoted this type of behavior. They'd put chairs around the Cracker Barrel. They'd put a deck of cards or a checkerboard on top of the Cracker Barrel. They were encouraging people to hang out, to loiter, to mope. Long before the restaurant showed up, the Cracker Barrel was already a symbol of rural America, of a simpler, slower way of life focused on camaraderie and food. The symbolism in the old Cracker Barrel logo is as blatant as you'll ever find, complete with multiple redundant messages. There are the words Cracker Barrel next to an image of a Cracker Barrel with an older man leaning on that barrel, clearly just hanging out, and the words Old Time Country Store. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what this is supposed to symbolize. It's saying, hey, our restaurant is just like those old time country stores where you can come and just hang out, enjoy time with your friends, and enjoy some simple, old-fashioned comfort food, just like Grandma used to make. As subtle as a baseball bat between the eyes. When you showed up at the restaurant, what did you find? A store. And the dining area was divided up into these small, intimate little nooks with bric-a-brac and knickknacks and antiques all over the walls, clearly trying to imitate the small mom-and-pop restaurants you find all over small-town America. And the food? Simple, old-fashioned comfort food like Grandma used to make. A lot of the people that I know who give the Cracker Barrel their business do it when they're on a road trip or out of town. They want the small mom and pop restaurant experience, and they want the rural southern comfort food menu, but they don't have time to find the authentic thing. And let's be honest, with a lot of those authentic little restaurants, the food's going to be either really good or really bad, and they don't want to risk it. And there sits Cracker Barrel. You know you're going to have a similar experience, and at least it used to be the food was good. Not the best, but good. That was Cracker Barrel's niche, living off nostalgia, trying to evoke the experience of a remembered rural America while providing rural comfort food at a consistent quality. Cracker Barrel, in its infinite wisdom, has decided to roll out a new logo. So what does it symbolize? Jack. The new logo is entirely dependent upon our memories of the old logo for its symbolism. Kind of ironic, seeing how they want to get rid of that old logo. The new logo has no symbolic meaning in of itself. It's just some words inside a random geometric shape. This logo makes the worst mistake a logo can make. Now remember, the whole point of having a logo in the first place is to elicit very specific thoughts and emotions aimed at the brand or the company.
Wait a minute, Randy. Are you saying that this logo doesn't elicit any thoughts or emotions?
No. I'm not saying that. Now, don't get me wrong. That would be bad enough. But what this new logo does is it elicits negative thoughts and emotions aimed at the brand and the company. When you build a company based upon nostalgia and the celebration of tradition, and then you come along and say, nah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to go off in another direction. But you rely upon the tradition to give your changes meaning. You're constantly reminding people that you don't do tradition anymore. You're rubbing people's faces in it. They're telling people who care about traditions, I mean, that's why they go to a place that celebrates traditions, that we don't care about your traditions anymore. A lot of Cracker Barrel's customers, soon to be ex-customers, will interpret that as the company giving them the middle finger. Why would Cracker Barrel go and do something so stupid? Well, there are several reasons why this could have happened. My opinion is probably a combination of all of them. First off, most corporate executives don't know the first thing about design. Now, it's not necessarily their fault. Design requires a certain way of thinking, which isn't all that common amongst business types. So these executives, they just don't know that they're buying crap. It's because of this that most brand design consulting firms are little more than scams. They know all they need to do is gas up a couple of executives, convince them that what they're paying for is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then the executives' egos get involved. They can't have their decision-making processes questioned, so they will defend their choice till their last breath, while these firms laugh all the way to the bank. The second thing that's going on here is that Cracker Barrel is in the process of shifting to a completely different niche in the market. They just don't want to be honest about it. It's not just the logo that's changing. They're changing everything about the restaurant, clearly wanting to distance themselves from their previous image. I'm willing to bet y'all it won't be long before they change the name of the restaurant. It's going to become something like The Barrel or CB's or something. Cracker Barrel is following the entertainment industry down the exact same road. They're looking for the modern audience, the modern customer, while at the same time telling the people who were loyal customers for years to go pound sand. The third thing going on here, this new logo was done for spite. It's malicious. It's telling all the people that supported the company over the years, we don't like the traditions we used to celebrate. We don't like your traditions. We don't like you. So as we change into something else, we want you to know you're not welcome here. Various economic types over the last couple days have been saying there's all sorts of evidence that this was done intentionally to cause Cracker Barrel to lose money for various business machinations. I'm a design type, not an economic type, so I don't know. But what I do know, you mess around with symbolism at your own peril. Unless the goal was to make Cracker Barrel go the way of Jaguar and the dodo bird, all these smart people done screwed up. Because unless they make some radical changes and fast, which I don't see them doing, that's exactly where they're going. The same place as Jaguar and the dodo bird. At any rate, I hope I've given you all something to think about, and until next time, y'all be safe. If y'all are still here, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. While you're at it, why don't you like this video, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. You can hear me yammer on about something else next time.
Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment.